We have finally gotten the gameplay trailer for Black Ops 6 Zombies DLC 3 Shattered Veil, which is going to be releasing next Tuesday on the 2nd of April. If you missed the news, they pushed it forward a day. And Trek have also given us the information about when the Easter egg is going to be going live, so it's going to be 9 AM Pacific time, 12 PM Eastern, 4 PM BST, which is 5 PM UK time. And that is when the map officially launches as well, so it goes live simultaneously. So the marketing had a bit of a rocky hiccup considering it got sidelined for Verdansk over the past week, but I'm glad that we have finally received this trailer and the map looks absolutely phenomenal. So I'm going to play the full trailer for you to enjoy in all its glory right now, and then I'm going to break down absolutely everything we can learn from the gameplay as well as all of the information that they've detailed on the blog. So enjoy.
Can you even believe this place?
Sit your slimy ass down. The sizzle solves itself.
Someone give me a 10-gallon hat. I'm going full cowboy on these bastards.
You're not sure you have the right floor?
It is so nice to meet you face to face, Plate.
You don't trust me, fine, but you cannot trust her.
Okay, so let's go over everything we've learned from the gameplay trailer and let me know in the comments how awesome that was. It was short, it was 115 minutes long, absolutely perfect timing. It definitely could have been longer, but the short glimpses we did get looked absolutely phenomenal, and this is really reminding me of a classic Ether map, but blended in with all of the chaos elements. And in terms of the character dialogue and stuff like that itself, I'm not really going to go through all of that because honestly it was all just generic lines in the trailer. I'm hoping that everyone gets ample lines in this map, considering that, for example, Perk just got 0 on the tomb and his icon's image was still on Citadel Day More. Absolutely everyone needs to have lines, but we did get this one line from Richtofen.
You don't trust me, fine, but you cannot trust her.
And I'm so excited to finally see Nolan North back and Richtofen at the forefront of the storyline, so it seems like my theories about what the map's quest would entail about us going against the SAM AI and rescuing Richtofen are probably going to be true. I think this is where we're going to see a thematic switch, where we're going to go from wanting revenge on Richtofen to understanding him as a character, or at least in the meantime a lesser of two evils against the SAM AI. As Richtofen said, if you can't trust me, at least don't trust her. Speaking of Sam though, we did get a line from her as well.
It is so nice to meet you face to face, Plate.
And is it just me? This felt just so jarring. Obviously, unfortunately, Julie Nathanson's been replaced, and this just doesn't sound like something Sam would say to me. I understand it's an AI, obviously, but it's based on the real Samantha Maxis, and I can't ever envision her saying that. Now, I'm going to break down absolutely everything we've learned from the gameplay trailer in a second, but first of all, I want to go through the entire blog, because it details a lot of things that we see in the gameplay trailer that you might have question marks for, and gives us some other looks at the map. So first of all, we get this image in the blog, which shows the room where there's the T-Rex fossil, and this looks absolutely amazing. Look how open this space is. Of course, it's littered with debris. The mansion's much more destroyed than the Liberty Falls intro cutscene, and it is very unfortunate that we are not getting an intro cutscene for this map, even though the Liberty Falls one basically serves as one. Even still, every map really needs an intro cutscene for us to be able to understand and empathize with these characters, and unfortunately, they've just been wasting all of their budget on these stupid Verdansk videos, which is a real shame. But the map looks so destroyed here. Look how many zombies are on the map. Mind-boggling stuff. So the blog says, with essential artifacts in hand, the crew heads to the remote wooded hills above Liberty Falls to meet with the SAM AI at an old mansion in the forest which has been retrofitted to blank. I'm guessing that's something to do with Janus. Only with the aid of the SAM AI's synthetic mind can the team hope to unlock the ancient artifacts mysteries and bring back Agent Maxis. What could possibly go wrong? Well, we know what's going to go wrong. The SAM AI clearly has her own goal with the essential artifact, which is probably to get a body of her own, when she wants to be real and she's jealous of the real Samantha Maxis, we're clearly not going to rescue her, and Richtofen obviously wants it for his own goal to restore his family, brave the horrors of the Colton Hall, and confront a tyrant in the next chapter of Black Ops 6 Zombies narrative. The blog says that Operation Save Maxis, your comms team handler. Whilst we're going to be playing the map, the Sam AI is going to be on the TACCOM and she's going to be talking to us. Of course, we can physically go down to her in the underground laboratory if you go down the elevator where Richtofen was heading to her, but obviously sooner rather than later, she's going to turn on us. I hope they get it over and done with and it just happens straight away and it doesn't happen deep into the quest, because it's such an obvious and inevitable twist. It's not going to come as a surprise to any of us, so why bother dragging it out? And Ravenov even has a quote in the blog saying, I hope it was worth dragging the Sentinel artifact halfway across the globe. And that's a nice little joke here, because honestly, the Sentinel artifact has been a really dragged out storyline in Black Ops 6 Zombies. We've just been going from map to map to map. It should have just been activated straight away, and obviously it's probably not going to be activated on this map because that's probably going to be saved for Janus Towers. And I don't know if at the end of the Easter egg, Panos is going to run in, steal the artifact for the Shadow Smiths or something and take it over to Janus Towers, and then we have to go over there at the end. I'm not sure, but it's definitely made the weight of the Sentinel artifact feel tedious. Sam leads comms in anticipation of receiving the Sentinel artifact once the team successfully enters Colton Hall. Further guided by Ravenov, Perk and Strauss with exfil assistance from Raptor 1, the crew must approach the synthetic mind, promising the imminent return of Agent Maxis, which obviously is not going to go according to plan. So we then have the initial recon tour. We get a look at the spawn room here that we've already seen, the T-Rex room, and some of the other destroyed rooms. We get to see one of the armor stations there as well, and the map is apparently similar in size to Citadel Day More, so it's a medium-sized map. It's not a small map like some people were thinking it was going to be. It's not as small as the Tomb, but Citadel Day More wasn't that big of a map either. Venture into the mist-laden grounds of this Tumbletown mansion that rivals the size of Citadel Day More. I don't know why they're saying that in the blog like that's some sort of achievement. Citadel Day More feels extremely small to me, even when compared to Der Eisendrache that it was meant to be its spiritual successor to. I'm hoping Janus Towers is a lot bigger, because really Terminus is an amazing map and it stands out amongst the rest because of its scale. As we're playing, we'll be searching for the conservatory, and then it's redacted, the scene of fierce fighting at the Grand Foyer. All exploratory contents have been redacted by request of Project Janus. Honestly, I don't really like that they keep redacting the things in the blog. I've said this in the prior ones, but it just becomes jarring to read, and sometimes we don't even figure out when the map actually releases what some of these redacted lines are. Now let's go over the new enemy on the map, which is the Elder Disciples. So the Disciples are back, and we saw it in the trailer, but they are way crazier than before. Not just gameplay-wise, but story-wise, this is absolutely huge, because it seems like Spragmos' disciples are in fact the Order. Yes, that's right, they are literally the Order, potentially even Josiah Shem's flock. When they sacrificed their lives, they went into the Dark Ether and became the Disciples. Maybe even Josiah Shem is Spragmos, and he became the leader of the Disciples, which of course the Forsaken then took under his wing when he consumed the Old Ones and took over the realms. Now, I'm actually going to have a storyline video coming out later about this, because this is absolutely wild. If we look at the Disciple as well, the Elder Disciple, you can see that he's wearing the same robes as the Chaos Order. Not only that, but they look very similar to the High Priest of Chaos himself. If you look at the medallions he's wearing, they look the same. And if you look at his face as well, it looks so similar to the Blightfather. So could we potentially see the Blightfather on Janus Towers? I know some people have been speculating that, of course, now we know of this Dark Ether evolution process, that maybe a further stage is the Blightfather. Personally, I don't really know how to feel about all of these Chaos connections. Like I say, I'll have a storyline video coming out later about this, but I find that the majority of the audience seems to be getting confused and finding it hard to track all of the Chaos ties, especially when we know the original characters are returning later this year. It seems like an odd direction for them to go. You would think they would be trying to weave in old Ether stuff instead of Chaos stuff that less people cared about. And are they going to continue all of these Chaos ties leading into COD 2025 with the original characters as well? Because to me, it seems like the audience is going to find it very hard to track. I've been making videos trying to explain all of the Chaos ties in my videos, but honestly, it's becoming difficult for me to keep track of everything that's going on, and I can't even imagine what the average audience is feeling when they don't have the time to obsess over these things and connect all of the dots. And I think the biggest problem with the Chaos connections with everything is, so far, we're not really getting any answers as to how the Chaos stuff actually ties into things. The Sentinel artifact has just been a plot device thus far to get from map to map, but it doesn't ever feel like they're going to fully confirm what happens after Ancient Evil, or all of these mysteries that they've introduced towards the Chaos ties. It seems like we're getting things that make us think, but there's never any answers, and I hope they start physically answering some of the questions questions we have regarding how the Chaos story connects with things now with this map. And you can see the Disciple as all of the different alchemical Chaos symbols floating around him. It looks so cool. But like I said, not only is he huge in terms of a storyline sense, because this means that Spragmos might have actually been Josias Shem, or could have potentially even been from the Order, and the Disciples were always connected to the Order, which means the Order could have always been controlled by Dark Ether gods all along, which is wild. But they also have major gameplay changes. So strange floating apparitions have been seen flitting about the sprawling gardens and rambling mansion estate. Known to some as Elder Disciples, those powerful enemies likely spell trouble for the crew, and I find the name choice Elder Disciples very interesting because this has to be a reference to the Elder Gods. For example, the Forsaken was the very first human who entered the Dark Ether to become an Elder God himself, which is basically a powerful entity, a god in the Dark Ether, and maybe that's what Samantha Maxis now is as well. So these Elder Disciples are old, and they gain strength as they empower the zombies around them while summoning more undead to join the battle. Using their dark magic, these fetid floating carcasses can force their allies to evolve more quickly, allowing a lowly zombie to more rapidly transform into a Doppelgast or some other sinister form. I'm guessing that means the amalgams. So yeah, the amalgams do seem to be on this map as well. I know Treyarch said before, or at least hinted towards no amalgams, but they never outright said there won't be amalgams on this map. They only responded to someone saying they don't want to be spammed, a million amalgams spawning. So you're not going to get spammed by amalgams. However, the Disciple can cause zombies to evolve into a Doppelgast or an amalgam over time. So you're still going to get them on the map, but just not as frequently. And this Disciple is going to be more difficult. Like, he has more up his sleeves than the versions we've seen in Modern Warfare Zombies or Black Ops Cold War, for example. Eliminate the Elder Disciple before their forces grow too powerful, keeping it at a distance to avoid the scream. It lets loose against players who draw too close. The deadly enemy grows more agitated as it takes more damage, so try to get the job done fast. And back with the Chaos ties, we have other entities in Shattered Vale. The toxic zombies are back. As a sickly yellow fog descends across the mansion, expect the inhabitants to take on even more revolting pallor. Easily identifiable due to their greenish hue and more skeletal exterior, toxic zombies appear to have lost all but their base perambulatory functions and seem intent on sprinting towards their prey before exploding, leaving a damaging pool of acid in their wake. Listen for their telltale shriek and get the jump on them before they can close the distance. So yeah, they're bringing them back. It has me wondering if future maps are going to have the other Chaos Elemental zombies as well, the ice one, the fire one. But to be honest, people complained about them, if I remember correctly, back during the Chaos maps, feeling like we were getting too many different enemy types back then, which is ironic now, considering people are still complaining about the fact that we have too many enemy types like the Manglers and stuff like that. But it's good on this map that we don't have any enemy types that can launch towards you, apart from the Doppelgast and Amalgams, but they can only be done through the evolutions of the Disciples when they cause zombies to evolve, so it's not going to be as frequent as the other maps, but it's going to be a very close quarter map, so it's good that we don't have high frequency of these lunging zombies. But I wonder if Janus Towers, like I say, will have some of these other elemental chaos zombies. So these glowing ghouls are joined by a variety of Project Janus scientists and military personnel turned zombies caught up in the nearby outbreak. Along with an unhealthy horde of ghastly entities, the Elder Disciple stands, or perhaps floats, ready to speed them through their evolutionary journey. Now let's get to Wonder Weapons. This is hype! 2 Wonder Weapons on this map, the Ray Gun Mark II as well as the Wunderwaffe, and we even have elemental upgrades for the Ray Gun Mark II. So a big complaint for this map was returning Wonder Weapons, because we knew the Wunderwaffe was going to be back from the Liberty Falls intro cutscene. However, it kind of makes up for it in the sense that we're going to be getting 2 returning Wonder Weapons instead of just 1, and whilst yes, the Mark II and Wunderwaffe are returning, there are going to be elemental upgrades for the Ray Gun Mark II, and they're not going to be the exact same ones we saw in Alpha Omega. They're going to be brand new, so I guess that's cool. I still would like to see some new Wonder Weapons, so I'm hoping that with Janus Towers, we finally get a new one, when on the last map we also had the returning Ice Staff, and 4 people can hold the Ray Gun Mark II as well, so everyone can get one, and I wonder if they're going to get added to the other maps as well at some point, or if it's just going to be exclusive to Mansion. Considering the fact that it's not the map exclusive Wonder Weapon does to me suggest that it'll probably come to the other ones as well. But this Wonder Weapon is such a classic, and they confirmed that Janus found it from the Dark Ether, so they're finally confirming how some of these returning Wonder Weapons are actually coming about. Obviously everything got thrown in there at the end of Tag the Totem, so it makes sense how this stuff is coming back. The powerful laser armament delivers 3-round bursts of energy, can be pack-a-punched, and doubles as a bludgeoning instrument if you're running low on ammunition. So there's 3 new variants, like I said, so basically you can have the base variant or there's 3 others, provided you have redacted. So I'm guessing that means maybe you have to do a quest in order to be able to get the elemental versions as well. Obviously, I know there's probably going to be a quest to get free Raygun Mark II, but I assume it'll be in the box as well, and probably the Wunderwaffe will be as well, but there'll be a free Easter egg for each of them as well. So you can experiment with these 3 variants. So we have the Mark II W, which offers similar bullet patterns to a submachine gun. This also has a random chance to ignite enemies. That sounds awesome. So does this consistently fire instead of it just being burst rounds? We then have the Mark II P, shooting ammunition like a shotgun with a chance to spawn a sigil with the ability to grant invulnerability to the player standing on it for a limited amount of time. So that's going to be fun. Is the sigil going to be the one that we saw from Modern Warfare Zombies with Ava? Is she going to tie in with things here? We have the Mark II R, dropping zombies with a marksman rifle like discharge. Expect a chance to spread a plague infection that can inflict area of effect damage. So you will have noticed from all of these different Raygun Mark II variants, they're not as drastic changes as the elemental upgrades on Alpha Omega, which completely changed the weapons. They're only really slight little tweaks or different abilities you get with the weapons. So they're still basically going to be the regular Mark II with slight differences. So it's not going to be full on elemental wonder weapons on this map. But it's cool that they've added this in so that it doesn't feel repetitive with us just having a returning wonder weapon. At least there's some variation there. And then obviously the Wunderwaffe is back. There isn't much to be said. Capable of striking down hordes with chain lightning blast. This has the bonus effect of stunning crowds of zombies, usually resulting in additional and eventually terminal damage. The only real drawback to the weapon that users have experienced is the stench of electrified undead. Now let's go over the additional content. So for completing the main quest of Shattered Vale, you get the PH Deadly Operator skin for Carver, an animated calling card, and 5,000 XP. For those who complete the main quest before Directed mode arrives for Shattered Vale, will also earn a unique calling card variant. Directed is going to be if reloaded up. But this is a Pentagon Thief for Carver, and people have been asking for Carver to have a skin for a very long time. Now obviously it doesn't really make sense for Carver because he's an army soldier, he is not a scientist, and this would have been a good opportunity to add Strauss as an operator. He should have gotten this skin, but people have been asking for a skin for Carver, so yeah, we're getting it, and it's very odd that we're getting a Pentagon Thief skin. I'm not sure how this sort of ties into the theme of the map. I have actually been saying that the room that the SAM AI is in looks very similar to the main room in the Pentagon, so maybe that's why, but yeah, the Pentagon Thief is here, and you can see that there's even a charm that has the SAM AI on it, glowing purple. It's a very cool skin, looks very good, but it just doesn't really match his character. I really do think that the other characters, Strauss, Perk, Ravenov, should be playable characters as well. I don't know why they are not. It feels like the cast is very overbloated right now, and each one is not getting enough room to shine, and everyone's going to be on this map, according to Treyarch, even though Perk was absent on the last map. He literally had no lines, even though they said he was going to be on this map, so I'm hoping they don't fall for that same mistake again. There is also going to be a microwave trap on the map. We see this in the trailer, so you can burst zombies with microwaves for a mere 750 essence, get a horde of followers on your tail, and then flip the switch. There's also a dark ether field generator, dissolve zombies with the dark ether energy in a static field that zaps anything that passes through, circle the trap to entice enemies into the center of it. Now obviously we're going to get more lore and intel drops, so I'll be covering all of that on the channel. I can't wait. This map has a lot to live up for. It needs to be getting the narrative moving in the right direction right now, because I think it took a bit of a hit with the tomb. Its intel definitely was not sharp enough. It didn't get people engaged, and Richtofen's just been left to the wayside through all of these maps, and he's the person people care the most about. So they have a lot of leg room to do to sort of catch people and bring them up to speed and get them back into the storyline, because everyone was hyped when they saw the Liberty Falls intro, and then they completely fell off and stopped caring about the storyline. So this map needs to get us back into the storyline, and they really need to dive deep into Richtofen's backstory with Weaver. I can't wait for the Easter egg, and of course I'll be explaining everything here on the channel. There are lots of revelations about to happen, especially with how all of the chaos stuff ties in with Josiah Shem. Stuff is about to get absolutely wild lore-wise. They just need to really do it right. They really do, because right now people are just not into the story. That's just a fact, as sad as it is to say, and especially considering the fact that this map's not getting an intro cutscene. Maybe even the next one won't be as well, and the tomb didn't. If we're not getting any intro cutscenes, the intel needs to be even stronger to make up for it, and I'm hoping that the ending cutscene's good for this map, and we might even get multiple cutscenes during the Easter egg, because it really needs one, especially if there is no intro. There needs to be multiple intro cutscenes. It started off well. Terminus has multiple cutscenes in the quest. So does Citadel Day More with the side one for Maya. This can't continue. We can't keep not getting intro cutscenes, and if we're not, then it needs to be made up in other fashions, because this is just not what we want, because we have been waiting 4 years for this game, and we didn't think we would not be getting intro cutscenes. That's just downright abhorrent. It's not what us fans deserve, and it's not going to get people back into the storyline and understanding these characters. But anyways, back onto gameplay stuff. Double tap is coming, finally, after so long. However, it's going to be a bit different, so it's not going to be as good as Double Tap 2.0, unfortunately. I really like the redesign for the machine. It has this cowboy with the hat that shoots these dual-wielding weapons. This is by far the best redesign out of all of the perks. Maybe not the logo, but definitely the look of the machine, and this animation is so cool. It has me wondering, is this a Shadowsmith? It has a similar sort of cowboy hat. Could he be? I don't know, but I think the Shadowsmiths are going to tie into this map in some way. Maybe even they are the old ones that lured Josiah Shem, etc., which I'll be talking about in this future storyline video. But anyways, let's go over Double Tap. So the classic rapid fire perk returns for the first time in nearly a decade, dramatically increasing your weapon's fire rate to chew through enemy hordes in record time. Research the iconic perk for powerful enhancements like an even faster fire rate and the chance to inflict double damage. So unfortunately, it's only a chance to inflict double damage. This is like Double Tap 1.5 basically. I know there's different augments because if you remember back in the day, people didn't like the original Double Tap because it just did double the fire rate, which made you lose ammunition very, very quickly, especially on the lower rounds, which is going to happen again. So the perk is going to be on Shattered Vale, and it's also going to be on all of the other maps in the Wunderwaffe machine. Here are the augments though. Now we had the names previously leaked, but we didn't know exactly what they were. So these are the major augments. So we have Double Jeopardy. Normal zombies at low health have a chance to die immediately when shot. That sounds cool, but we don't know what the chance is. Double Impact, double hits on the same target in quick succession deal more damage. And then Double Standard, all non-critical shots do double damage, only applies to normal bullet weapons. So this won't work for ray guns or explosives or stuff like that, and it won't apply for critical shots. Let's go over to the minor augments. So we have Double Time, increases fire rate bonus. Double or Nothing, weapons have a chance to do double damage, but also have a chance to do 0 damage, so that's a real risk there, but again, we don't know what the statistics for each actually are. We have Double Play, killing 2 enemies in quick succession has a chance to return 2 rounds to your magazine, only applies to normal bullet weapons. Let me know in the comments which ones you will likely use. Again, we need the statistics to probably understand them. Now we're also getting 3 new Gobblegums that are going to be getting added. So we have Tactical Diffusion, a rare one, disables the next nuke power-up explosion you activate and gives everyone 2000 essence instead. That's a bit of a random Gobblegum to think of. I guess it's good for getting some points, but pretty out there. We have Support Group Legendary, gobble up this tasty Gobblegum to acquire the ARC XD, Mangler Cannon, Sentry Gun, and Mutant Injection support items. So do you get them all? Does everyone in the game get each single score streak? It's a bit unclear. I assume it just drops all of them on the ground maybe, and then you can choose which one you want or share between a multiplayer game. We have then a whimsical die-pitched Gobblegum. Zombies have high-pitched voices the last 3 minutes. Now that's going to be really funny. I can't wait to hear them shriek. Also, the Death Machine is coming as a support score streak at last. Absolutely awesome stuff there. It's going to be 1750 salvage. You can get it from the crafting table, of course, a powerful machine gun with a fast fire rate, high penetration, and large magazine. Mow through multiple zombies with an all-time favorite once you unlock this heavy weapon during the Black Ops Tribute event. So yeah, you're going to have to do that, but I'm sure this will be great for the new disciples. Now in the mid-season update is going to be when the directed mode will come for the map, and there's also going to be Team Cranked. I'm not going to explain all of the details on screen, but Cranked will be back with a team-focused twist. If you want to pause the video, you can learn everything about it here. There's also going to be a new LTM and field upgrade coming in the mid-season, which is going to be a Zombie Snacks limited time mode, and you will also get the Frost Blast field upgrade. So it's not going to be there on launch, Frost Blast, and we don't know what this mode is, but I'm guessing it has something to do with the survival mode that you had in Outbreak and Black Ops Cold War, where you had to eat food instead of just regularly repairing your health automatically. Maybe it's just that, but for round-based. We'll have to wait and see what it actually is, but it's probably something similar to that if I had to guess. Okay, so now I want to go through the trailer and go through everything that we can see. So first of all, we get a look at the spawn room outside of the mansion itself. It's a pretty open spawn, very kind of similar to the Citadel one. I wonder if there's going to be a similar Wishing Well Easter egg as well. You can see there's loads of skulls around it, so I wonder if that's got something to do with Josiah Shem when they sacrificed themselves. Maybe they even did it in that well there. I have no idea. Then we get a look at the crew, and you can see in the background the layout of the map. So it seems like there's going to be a few different layers. Obviously, you have the mansion's floors. There seems to be 3 stories of the mansion itself, judging by the windows outside, and then you can go down in the elevator to the underground laboratory where the SAM AI is. So the map is very destroyed and on fire. You've got some crows or whatever birds they are flying above. There's some crashed Janus trucks, and so far we don't see any mention of Panos or Blanchard in this map. I don't know if they are going to be. Blanchard was hiding out here. It seems that Panos has probably gone to Janus Towers, so we'll probably see him on the next map. Maybe he makes an appearance in the ending. Blanchard surely should show up probably, but he's not mentioned anywhere, so I don't know if he's going to be saved for Janus office towers as well. So we then get a look inside the mansion itself in the dome area where all of the light is coming in from above. The map is very, very destroyed. There's lots of debris about. I can imagine it has lots of places which are very, very tight and you can get easily trapped. And then we see the T-Rex skeleton here. There's a warbie in the back and you've got the chandelier above. It looks so cool. You've got all of these palm trees peering around. This is my favorite room. I mean, I love dinosaurs. Who doesn't love dinosaurs? But that looks absolutely awesome there. You've got then a dead Janus security person on the floor. You've got an arsenal machine on the right. There is something sparking in the back. I don't know if that's just a wire or something like that. I think this is the room as well where there is the Josiah Shem painting that seems to be hooked up to loads of devices. So Richtofen's probably trying to open a portal to the Dark Ether through this weakened veil. Now this part's very interesting because we hear a similar laugh to Samantha's teddy bear. And you can see there's a load of children's toys and you've got a barn house in the back there. And then there's some drawings of a child, very similar to Samantha's drawings under Eisendrache. And these are probably from Richtofen's son Samuel. Obviously, we know he drew this previous one that they released where it showed the lot of them on fire. So Samuel's essence is probably still within the Dark Ether and he's been haunting and trying to communicate with Richtofen. And it seems like he might have actually been the one causing hauntings at this map. Maybe he's been drawing all of these different notes. It's very, very weird. Samuel's dead, of course. There is, of course, the possibility that maybe these were all of his toys before he died, but obviously this isn't the house that burned down. It could have been the house where maybe Richtofen was raised by Kraft, potentially, but for these drawings to be showing up, either he was having foresights into the future as a child and drawing things that were going to happen, or Richtofen's been receiving these notes from Samuel from within the Dark Ether. And there's a teddy bear here, and there's loads of other toys. It's very, very creepy, and it really reminds me of old Ether stuff. And we then get a shot here where we see the mirror from the Liberty Falls intro, which seems to be the exact same mirror that Ava Jansen is taken in by the Shadowsmiths. So the Shadowsmiths are definitely, I think, probably going to be a part of this map. And you've got as well on the right, I think this is the Josiah Shem painting. It's kind of hard to see because it's knocked down, but there is some sort of painting on the right that's come off the wall. I don't really know which one that is. And is this a cradle in the back? It looks like it. Who was in this cradle? Was it Richtofen as a child? Was it his son Samuel? Why is all of this stuff here? Why are all of these children's toys here? You can see someone's been playing with all of these teddy bears, and there's ducks and dolls and a rocking horse with a teddy bear on. Someone's been playing with all of these and putting them and having them have a tea party, very similar to what we saw on Gorad Krovi. And PhD Flopper here is here as well. So has this just been Richtofen's son Samuel doing these things from within the Dark Ether? Because obviously this is a spot where there's a weakened veil. That's why it's literally called Shattered Veil, and it's about to break. And as Samuel's been playing about in the Dark Ether, it could have been affecting the real world as well, very similar to what we used to see back in the old Ether story. We then get another look at this room. You've got all of these bookshelves, all of these document boxes, and there is the Gobblegum machine in the back there. You've got some computer mainframes, various different things. This map looks very detailed. I can't wait to just explore the environment and see what sort of lore can be uncovered just from the environment itself. I love some good environmental storytelling, but there isn't really too much to take here. The trailer is a little bit pixely as well, so it's hard to make out some of the cutscenes, but yeah, we get a look at this trap, this radiation trap that causes them all to explode that I mentioned earlier in the blog. Then we get a look at Double Tap, and this looks absolutely phenomenal. And you get a look at this zombie, and its eyes are glowing red as it starts firing. I'm guessing as you buy the perk, it will shoot the zombies if you lure them in near it whilst you do that. You get a look at this outside area. Obviously, it's set on the hilltop above Liberty Falls, and you can somewhat explore outside. Not really too much, though. It is a wooded grounds. It doesn't look like most of the map, or pretty much any of the map, is outside, really, apart from the spawn room, and there's these small little areas such as this one around the back of it, but you can see it's all barricaded off, and behind it you can see that there's all of these target practices. So is there going to be a similar Easter egg to on Liberty Falls, for example, to get free Deadshot? Or maybe you can even get free Double Tap from something to do with shooting these targets. That's definitely got to be a part of a side Easter egg, I am sure, but I'm guessing the people at Janus and maybe even Richtofen himself was using this as target practice to prepare for the day that he needed to prepare for when Sam took over. Then we get a look at the elevator Richtofen, of course, went down in the Liberty Falls intro cutscene. I'm not really sure how we're gaining access to it because obviously he managed to get into it through director access ID, so they shouldn't be able to just freely get in unless Richtofen's just going to be helping us to get in, or maybe it's just for some reason, I guess, left open after Richtofen already did the clearance and it's not needed anymore. And you can actually zip line down on the wire of the elevator, and this is very reminiscent of Die Rise here. I guess it's broken now and it's shaking blinking and sparking. Maybe that's why we're able to get in, because it's literally just broken. This is so epic though. I'm guessing some people can go inside and maybe some person on top of it. Or is that the only way you can get down? You can't actually go in the elevator itself. They go down underground where we see the SAM AI and it looks awesome. You've got all of this purple mist going around, and that's probably because the Forsaken is in its core powering the SAM AI, and you've got all of these mainframes, and obviously this is probably going to be how you start the Easter egg. You first need to get down here, you interact with her, she starts talking to you, and she probably will turn on you at some point. Like I said before, I really hope she doesn't turn on us right at the end. It's just so predictable. She needs to turn on us straight away. There needs to be some sort of twist, whether that's, you know, we defeat her at the end, killing the Forsaken at the same time, if it's her battery, and then the Shadowsmiths are freed, and that sets up a climax for Janus Towers, where the Shadowsmiths will be the main villain. I'm not sure. But then we get a look at the Raygun Mark II, obviously the classic Raygun Mark II, and you can see everyone has one there, I guess with the different variants, and all of the zombie designs are very cool. You've got all of these security detail. Obviously the Tomb, I think, personally had the best zombie designs out of any map, to be honest, and you can see the SAM AI's icon in the background and the voice synchronization. I'm guessing this is obviously where Richtofen would go down and he would be experimenting on her. We get a look at these toxic zombies once again. Like I said, probably the next map there's probably going to be some more of the different elemental zombies, and then we get a look at the Wunderwaffe Pack-a-Punched, and if you look at the Pack-a-Punch camo, it does actually have the symbols needed to charge the Sentinel artifacts. Of course, we know that the SAM AIs apparently prepared Shards of Tempest for us at this map and elements that are needed for the Sentinel artifacts. Now, I think she's just stolen Richtofen's plan, and he was really the one doing all of that research and stuff. But yeah, the Wunderwaffe absolutely decimates here. Like I said before, it is a shame we're getting another returning wonder weapon, but we're getting two, and we're also getting Raygun Mark IIs. But I hope next map we're getting something brand new. Then we get a look at the Gobblegun machine, and the Pack-a-Punch camo looks awesome. But like I said, it has all of these Sentinel artifact symbols all over it that we see, for example, at the end of the trailer. And then we get a look at this Gobblegun that gives you the War Machine. So I'm not sure if it just gives you a random one out of those score streaks I mentioned earlier, or it always does. And then we get a look at the Elder Disciple. So cool with all of the chaos symbols floating around it. And then we see the Death Machine being used on it. Like I said before, I assume that's probably going to be a go-to to take this out. And then we can see it rising up, and it looks very similar, like it's about to turn into a Blightfather. I don't know if that's actually the case. And then we see the end where the Shattered Veil logo pops up. Of course, that's all seems to be made of ice. The world is about to fracture. It's about to break. Time travel's back. All hell's about to break loose to lead into the finale. The Shadowsmiths, the old ones, are probably going to be freed. I'm hyped as hell for this map. It has a lot to do though. But that's everything I could make from the trailer. Let me know in the comments if you notice anything that I have missed. Let me know if you have any theories about the storyline or the chaos ties. Like I said, I'll have another video coming out later though about the story stuff. But this has been wild. Hopefully we get some intel drops as well next week with the developers talking as well. And hopefully the intel's a lot better on this map. And I hope it has more staying power as well, because it feels like with the Tomb, people got over it after a week and then no one was talking about it. In terms of myself making content, it seemed like no one really cared anymore, and I went back to Black Ops 3 videos. So you can see that these maps for Black Ops 6 don't seem to be having the staying power that Zombies maps of old used to have, and that needs to change. These maps should be building a legacy. It shouldn't just be you play it, you get it done with, and then you're thinking about the next thing. There needs to be more to be uncovered. There needs to be more below the surface, and clearly the Tomb was not enough for people to latch on to and still be talking about weeks, months later. Anyway, stay tuned for that video later about the storyline. Thank you for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're not here for the latest and greatest Call of Duty news and information. So anyways, thank you for watching, and bye.